I've got a couple of comments that's a bit of a mosaic in the sense they don't necessarily fit together until after you see them all at the same time. Number one, I started the conference by saying Stan's the smart one and I'm the pretty one. Now, we have a sponsor, and the CEO recently asked us, to our surprise, how do you know? So I'm going to show you how do you know. He's out there on his way to the cocktails, and I'm up here. So who's the smart one? There's two things that I'm going to use to help form my comments, and I promise to keep them relatively brief. One is, since I joined Johnson & Johnson back in the 1990s and was thus deeply immersed in either the forest or the swamp of healthcare, depending on how you look at it, I've had an opportunity to attend dozens and dozens of conferences like this. And so there's a perspective of what did those conferences say, predict, offer, and was there enough foresight of where we would be today inherent in that journey? Answer is no. Invariably, conferences like this have an optimistic view of what's possible, and we just heard an extraordinary description of what's possible, but the ability to describe what can happen toward that possibility has failed miserably. And so rather than trust me, I'm going to go to my best friend, ChatGTP, who I asked, what have been the history of digital health over the last 20 years? Failed, first word, digital health forecasts over the last 20 years have involved overestimation of the rapid technology adoption, underestimation of the technology and regulatory hurdles, and specific challenges in predicting user behavior. So if that's our history, what does that tell us about the future? And I'm going to suggest that, in a world in which more than half of the early stage companies who have ambitions today won't succeed. That's a terrible thing to say. Some say only 10% will succeed. What do we learn from the failures? We don't fail from the lack of ideas or enthusiasm. I mean, we're here today and we've heard 60 different perspectives over the course of 2-3 days. And there is a great amount of ambition, energy, enthusiasm, in spite of the headwinds of the last 20 years. So in essence, there's a pony in the pile, and we just need to dig harder, but we'll find the pony. And there's a couple of insights that I would offer come from observing both successes and failures. One is that incrementalism is easy, transformation is hard, if not almost impossible, and we are on a transformative journey. And so we need to look at what we're trying to do and say, is this a significant incremental value creation, or is this potentially transformative because they are going to require different energy, different patience, different timelines? Secondly, is the solution that we're considering or working on or trying to develop a point solution or a platform? Again, point solutions are relatively easy to create, easy to adopt, easy to sell, but they don't last. Platforms create the potential for transformation over a period of time because they essentially can allow a number of new things to coexist in the future. The most important, and I'll try to wrap in a moment, the most important thing is the business model assumptions. Because these solutions, as intriguing as they are from a technology point of view and from a data integration point of view, have to have a way of making money. And there are two sources of money in healthcare that hold most of the bags: the payers and the product companies, drug companies, device companies, et cetera. Payers include the governments as well as the commercial insurers or the commercial insurers on behalf of their employers. The key point is those are the bags of money, that we have got to encourage to somehow invest in a new solution. And if you don't have a business model that somehow creates value for one of those forces that are holding the bag, you're going to have at best a point solution that may last for a while. And so in essence, the business model is as fundamentally important as the nature of the solution itself. And I would ask everybody to walk away remembering that, like the economy stupid, it's the business model stupid as a way of keeping ourselves focused. And last, I'm going to offer some evidence of how digital health still is a complex, perplexing, and bemusing solution. I'm a well-measured man. I wear a ring, tells me how my heart's working. I wear a watch, tells me how my heart's working, and a number of other things. They both take data, bring it into an application, and the data spits out an insight. Now, I'm curious. I have 5 different ways of knowing how well I slept beyond how I feel. None of those 5 are the same. You know, the ring assesses sleep in a certain way. The Apple Watch offers 3, 4, 5 different applications that all analyze the data and tell me how I slept. And I'm always perplexed of how the same data produces a different outcome. And it's because of the fundamental assumptions in the algorithms and the implications of the data. Excuse me. So one of the things that's important to consider in addition to the business model is the veracity and the verifiability of the way our algorithms produce insights. Because if there's a suspicion about the uncertainty of the data, you know, we're going to have another problem with credibility in the marketplace. So I'm going to end with those thoughts, and more importantly, say that the value of this conference, and many like it, are in what we talk about rather than what we talk to you about. So keep the conversations up. And I'm going to offer the opportunity to one more time go up the street, have a cocktail, and celebrate the fact that we've all been through 60 different discussions or 60 different viewpoints, and we are richer because of that. Thank you all.